Obviously, the conclusion I reached, and the conclusion being presented here, is that Srila Prabhupada actually wanted us to continue down the path that he had already established, the Ritvik representative path. That is the path that he gave his full guidance on. In contrast, he gave absolutely no guidance at all, period, for a multi-guru path in ISKCON. It simply was not the path he wanted us to take. Because he gave no guidance on how such a system was to work, there is no map to follow. There is no past example to follow. Because His Divine Grace had not shed any illumination down this path, the GBC found themselves in the dark and had to seek guidance from one of Prabhupada's godbrothers, who happened to have been the very same person Srila Prabhupada had lambasted for having disobeyed his own guru and took the Gaudiya Math down the same wrong path decades before. Because the GBC got it wrong and have taken us down the wrong path all these years, ISKCON has been turned totally inside out regarding the Ritvik Guru issue. The inside out ISKCON of today. Because the GBC think that an ongoing Ritvik representative system is bogus, they have over the years kicked so many of Srila Prabhupada's loving direct disciples and followers out of his mission. They have heavily and adamantly stated many times that there is no place in ISKCON for the Ritvik Ras idea or its supporters. Whatever Ritvik system that exists today exists outside of ISKCON. Within ISKCON, the GBC has promoted a system of multiple gurus. And this is all backwards. It is totally upside down. It is inside out. It is the Ritvik representative system of the Acharya that the GBC should have been following, and that should be within ISKCON. And those who want to be guru should do so in their own ashrams outside of ISKCON. Today, it is all inside out and upside down. In the 1970s, when His Divine Grace was physically present, we boldly preached that one must only accept a Mahabhagavat as one's guru. And those who were unfit and unqualified, we preached the honest, straightforward truth and called them bogus gurus. We called them cheaters and the cheated. But today, no one is allowed to speak out about the ISKCON gurus in that way. Such truth has been banned and seen as blasphemy. Srila Prabhupada had quoted his Guru Maharaj, who said that the Guru cannot be elected by the GBC. This is nothing but a rubber stamping process. And Srila Prabhupada called such rubber stamping of so-called gurus, he called it a cheating process. It will not be effective. You can cheat, but it will not be effective. And I'm just going to interrupt here for a second, go off script, because on that point, I remember back when the devotees started arguing this on the Ritvik side, so in the late 1980s, possibly early 1990s, some of the devotees were saying just this, that the ISKCON system, the GBC system, was rubber stamping gurus, and they quoted from this, that it's a cheating process. And they also quoted this from Bhaktisiddhanta, that the Acharya is not to be, selected by the GBC. And yet those devotees were lambasted by the GBC of being envious, of being fallen, and blaspheming the actual gurus in ISKCON. And so they were kicked out of ISKCON for making those statements. So that I wanted to insert here. And I'll go back to the script, which is going to give a similar idea. But what if I were to give this class today in our ISKCON Mayapur temple, or any of other of Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON temples? What if I were to say that these men have been rubber stamped as gurus and therefore they're nothing but cheaters, and it's simply a process of cheating? What if I were to say that they are rascal gurus, as Srila Prabhupada described? What if I were to say that the GBC has no authority to select gurus, that this was against Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's order, and Srila Prabhupada had repeated that order? It is against our Guru and the Parampara Guru. If I gave a class like this in Srila Prabhupada's, or at least the current ISKCON temples, I don't even know if I could call it Prabhupada's temple, because I would be booted out of the temple. It would not be possible to repeat the words of Srila Prabhupada in his own temples today. As I say, today, everything about this issue is totally inside out and upside down and backwards. Today, the GBC declare that all you have to do to become guru is chant your rounds, follow the basics, and become buddies with another GBC or guru, such that they will put in a good word for you. Then the GBC will ordain you as a bona fide ISKCON guru. What if I preach in class that in 1977, Hamsadutta was a leading GBC man, a preaching sannyasi who followed the principles, chanted his rounds, but that Srila Prabhupada declared that for him to be guru would be a useless guru. Srila Prabhupada used the term rascal guru. Why? Because he had not yet completed his training. And what was that training? That he had not risen to the platform of a Mahabhagavat. Therefore, he cannot be accepted as a true guru. I would not be allowed to give such class in Prabhupada's temples today. Again, can you call that Prabhupada's temple? If I cannot speak what Prabhupada preached in his own temple, then it is no longer Prabhupada's temples. I would be banned from saying any of these things today, that the so-called gurus today are not qualified to be actual gurus. What if the GBC did misunderstand this issue from the very beginning? What if they did get this all wrong? What if Srila Prabhupada did not want multiple gurus in ISKCON? What if His Divine Grace actually wanted to continue to accept disciples for all the future members of His ISKCON mission? That is our conclusion. It is not based on sentiment. It is based on one analytical, thought-out, logical conclusion after the next. In all ways, this is where our study has brought us. Unless not one argument, but all of our arguments can be defeated with stronger analytical logic, then we stand firm in our conclusions. Today's ISKCON is inside out and upside down. ISKCON must be made inside in and outside out and upside up.